So the past few months have been an interesting time. We've seen in particular the closure in the market of a couple of projects with some really innovative and first to market elements, which we think can be elements that are applied to a number of projects going forward. The first of those is the second stage of the Gold Coast Light Rail project here in Queensland. That's really the first time where a PPP has been augmented by the inclusion of another stage while the first stage was operating. And there are a whole lot of issues that needed to be worked through as part of that process to set up a structure that drives optimum value for money, that keeps financiers comfortable and maintains a suitable equity profile for both of the stages. And the really good thing about that project is that there's now been a model worked up, tested and accepted in the market that can be applied to a number of projects going forward, given that these types of augmentations are likely to be part of the project scene nationally for a number of years to come. Yeah, another project which was notable in terms of leading a trend is the Forestfield Airport Link project in Perth, which closed a few weeks ago. That project really signifies a trend towards projects that have an intermodal feature. So in that case, it was a major rail project being constructed underneath an airport and interacting with the airport to provide an intermodal facility. Those are really long-term, high-risk arrangements, and there's quite a level of complexity in making sure that the arrangements that are put in place for close to a century actually appropriately manage and allocate risk across that period of time. And that's certainly something that we'll see more and more of as there is a trend nationally towards linking different modes of transport to optimise existing transport networks. Well, the interesting thing about the augmentation piece and market-led proposal is that what we've seen come out of the Queensland Government in terms of publicly available market-led proposals really fall into that category. So we have the Port of Brisbane with the addition of their cruise terminal, Transurban with their managed motorways projects. So what we're seeing is a real theme and something which the government is seeing constitutes uniqueness for the market-led proposals process is this concept of taking an existing concession and adding something to it. So the model used to augment on the second stage of the Gold Coast Light Rail is really the perfect way in which those two pieces can fit together. So a common feature of the second stage of the light rail project on the Gold Coast and Forestfield Airport Link was that there was an element of Commonwealth funding, and that will be a feature of the funding profile of projects for quite a time to come. One interesting trend we're seeing within the Commonwealth is a move away from the traditional Commonwealth grant style of funding to other ways of injecting cash into a project through the provision of debt or even the provision of equity. That'll be quite an interesting development because traditionally the Commonwealth has been one step removed from the day-to-day of a project, but taking those more direct forms of investment and participation will mean potentially a change for the role of the Commonwealth as part of its funding profile for projects.